Swirly, and we're live finally. I saw T Mach 5 out there. Joe Zubo's already out there,
Woo.
but it says nobody's watching, you bastards. Anyways, here we are live once again. These crazy people that just keep eating meat and can't stop talking about it. What are we talking about today there, Justin?
A little bit of under eating. It's something we've talked about before. It kind of keeps coming up. There seems to be this thing where people are trying carnivore. They have not awesome results, and then they think they need to add in carbohydrates, or like they're not getting enough calories, or they're doing OMAD and their hormones are all kinds of messed up. And yeah, and so I don't know about you, Tom, but um, I think oftentimes the solution to these is just eat more. There's nothing in the rule book that you have to do one meal a day. I don't. I pretty much never have. Occasionally, if I feel like it, or I've done a couple challenges or whatever, I don't feel bad when I do it. I'm just not quite sure if it's good to be doing year after year or something like that, you know. So I'm wondering, oh no, what's that? What did you just do, Tom?
I'm eating my snack.
Oh, what is that?
It's a New York strip cut into strips.
Neat. Well, which meal of that, which meal today of is that? I think there's a sentence there.
Yeah, well, I'm with you. The under eating is easy. I mean, if you're a person who oftentimes isn't um, a big breakfast person, and I notice when I over under eat one day, I'm not getting enough energy in. Then for some reason, I'm less hungry in the morning, and then a lot of people they like to drink coffee or tea or an energy drink in the morning, and I think that makes it worse because those kind of beverages, especially the ones with caffeine in 'em, tend to be an appetite suppressant, and you just go longer without eating. And then you get to the evening and you're like, "Oh man, I don't want to, eat too much before I go to bed, right? Because it's a bad thing." But I think at the end of the day, um that if you don't get enough food in, then you're you're just hurting yourself more. So I think, there's a big difference between eating a steak before you go to bed or short, within an hour going to bed than there is a bowl of ice cream and, whatever snack foods people tend to eat. So I know people have brought this up recently. It's like, and I think the other contributor is high fat, just because Justin's got a glass of raw eggs there.
a half dozen of raw eggs in a
Because the
Super
other
Mario
theme of
cup.
tonight's stream is some like it raw, right?
Yeah.
So, in case you didn't guess, this is an uncooked steak. It's not even lightly seared. It's just raw.
And I'll sip on my eggs like it's a good brandy. How about that? There you go. That should be a bar. Just go to a bar and instead of like liquor, it's just like raw eggs.
Hmm. Maybe we could throw steak in a blender and sip that.
There you go.
Like Eugene on Preacher. I guess I'm the only one to watch Preacher who knows who Eugene is, but anyways, Eugene's meals used to come out of a blender, and it was usually meat. So
You should pull up a clip of that. We need to somehow throw
I
it in the
looked for it.
show. Oh, you can't find
I
it?
can't find one where he's drinking meat.
Oh, bummer. You'll have to just do it the getaway. You'll have to play it and use your phone to like record it.
Yeah,
And then we'll throw it in the show.
I think we should. So with the focus on fat, I know Sue, because if you I know, like, if I try and eat a bunch of eggs for breakfast, there's enough fat in those yolks, I think, that it kind of shuts down my appetite. Yeah, Joe couldn't be with us because he's got a sore throat. So he was at a wedding last night screaming all night, so he can't talk.
And he's Australian and Italian, so you could only imagine how crazy. I think the only people that would have a crazier wedding is like a Russian wedding. It's probably like the only wedding culture that's more crazy. Mexicans are pretty high up there too, but nothing beats a third world nation.
Yeah, Joe's commenting there. So if you guys want to say something to Joe, he's here. But anyways, when you take all the techniques and pressure to eat fewer calories, and then you throw in the caffeine and a high fat breakfast and on and on and on, you start out your day potentially without enough food. And your food's really got to be both fat and protein, right? So you need the fat for fuel and you need the protein for rebuilding your body. So
Yeah, you need that energy. I mean, so I was never a big coffee drinker before carnivore. But I really don't do caffeine in the morning. I don't feel like I need it or anything. I've got, for the most part, sustained energy all throughout my day. Um, and so, yeah, I don't feel like the drops. I don't feel the need. So right now, I'm I do so I do 3 raw eggs after my workout essentially every morning. If it's a weekend and I got the time, I will cook myself a nice breakfast just because it's nice, just because it's nice to have a big nice breakfast sometimes. That's more for leisure. Um, and but yeah, 3 eggs will keep me burning. But I don't know, I've been pretty hungry during lunch lately. I think as the season change and just being busy, and I am trying to build, and I think I've put on a good amount of muscle in the last 3 months or so, which was my goal. And you got to feed it. If you're going to be growing muscle or trying not to lose muscle, you have to feed it. There's really no way about to go around that.
yeah,
And so this is why this discussion of losing weight, it's so well. Not that it's arbitrary. What you want to do is make sure you essentially have more muscle than fat on you. You know, that's the idea. Eating fat, of course, won't make you fat. It might store a little bit, but for the most part, you'll be burning it up, throughout the day. Um, Even the people that do really high fat, they don't gain weight typically, you know, typically.
yeah. So playing off of what Justin said, if you want to build muscle, you got to use the muscle, right? You got to stimulate the muscle, and then you have to rebuild it, and that's above and beyond maintaining it. So if you don't have enough protein, how are you going to do that? And then in order to use that muscle, you got to feed that muscle some fuel, which is primarily going to come in the form of fat and whatever sugars your body makes for you. So the glycogen and glucose and all that, which human body seems to manage very well on its own until you start eating a bunch of carbs, right?
Right. Exactly. People are concerned about different vitamins and things like that, or running out of glucose, because the glucose is necessary, right? It's necessary for the brain, other functions, muscles, kind of everything, right? You need an insulin response. All of that's important. And yeah, I mean, as long as you're eating the fat and the protein, your body will go ahead and make all the glucose that you need, which I heard Bart say recently is something like, I think, 200 grams. I think about there. I think for the average person, Tom, you're a bit bigger. Maybe your body would need a bit more, but my assumption is, I mean, maybe not, but my assumption is whatever amount your body needs glucose, your body can make it from protein.
Yeah, your body has more than one way to make glucose. So, one like you can make it from the glycerol backbone that comes up pretty frequently. So let's see how much glucose. What was it? Goose
Goose blood, goose
blood
bloods,
gooses.
blood gooses. That's
How
right.
much blood gooses does the human liver make in a day. Now, because you go work out and you use your muscles and then you burn the glycogen in it, and then your body's gonna replenish that, and when in the process of replenishing, your blood sugar will tend to go up. Let's see. Yeah, T Mark 5 says 2 grams, and it's kind of the short end, 2 grams. Let's see. In the short term, fasted health, 70 kilogram human liver and muscle store 100 to 400 grams of glycogen, respectively. 4 grams of glucose is present in the blood. So, as you can see, most of the sugar is stored in the form of glycogen as opposed to glucose. So, interesting point. So, SV's asking us how well we sleep compared to before carnivore.
Yeah. So, huge issues with sleep, certainly before carnivore. I mean, there's so many different factors that go into it. I was drinking like yerba mate teas and oolong teas and green teas at least once, sometimes twice a day. I was doing pretty high carb, low fat, low protein diet there for quite a while. So I'm sure that messed things up. Stress level, medications, staying up, gaming, partying, things like that. Now it's taken quite a while. Sleep is decent. So I used the sleep tracker, I think yesterday, which I'm actually quite surprised because I went to bed pretty late. My sleep score for last night was a 76, which is not amazing out of 100. So those that don't know, Fitbit, if you wear it to bed, it'll give you your sleep score. And there you go. Wonder Twins, activate. And
in the form of an ice sleep monitor.
And so usually, so I feel pretty good today. It helps that it's not snowing. And you know, when it comes to sleep, it's not just carnivore, but sleep hygiene. My biggest issue is sleep. So typically I'm not the person that has trouble falling asleep. I have trouble staying asleep. So typically, and it shows up in my Fitbit, essentially every night, I'm up for about an hour every night. And so what I do to mitigate that is I just go to bed an hour early. So if I'm really behaving myself, I'm in bed by 9, asleep by 9:45, back up at like 3 or 4, and then asleep again at like, I don't know, whatever, 5 or something, and then up at 7. And then that, I feel really good. That's when I can hit like 80, 85. Last night, you also had the time change last night, so I'm all kinds of confused. I don't know when it is. I'm surprised I made it here on time. But yeah, I think
I'm on time.
I knocked out, I think, midnight because I was watching the Spider-Man movie, the one that just came out a few months ago. So I was watching that because I hadn't seen it yet. I had some people calling me because, of course, when I'm laying down watching a movie, that's when my friends call me because they have the most amazing timing. So I was talking to a few people, trying to get through a movie. And yeah, so, but I'm surprised I got a 76. I thought it was going to be like 60 or something. But apparently I just went to bed and knocked out like the entire night. Like I said, I think I went to bed at midnight, probably took about a half hour to actually fall asleep. And I got up at 8, about 8:10, something like that. And I've been up all day. I'm a bit fatigued, but it's not bad. So what I heard, though, I was recently reading from a post called from Taylor Keto Health. For those that might be familiar with Rebecca Farmer, we've done an interview with her before. Should have her back on. She's sweet woman. Love her to death. But I recently saw something from her that said for those to help with cortisol response and hormone response in the middle of the night, to keep like a little bit of fat by your bed. And I guess if you eat that fat, it satiates you and kind of calms your body down and helps you sleep better for the rest of the night. I haven't tried it yet. But if that's your issue, if your issue is, like I said, uh, waking up in the middle of the night, you might want to have a little bit of fat by your head, by your bed, or a little bit of fat, in the fridge, ready to go. Something you could just munch down on real quick. I think she said like 10. I don't want to say 10. Was it 10 grams of fat? Like it's not like a meal of fat. It's literally like a chunk of fat.
Well, yeah, for Crystal Rune, I'm eating a strip loin or New York strip steak. But yeah, so I had a long history of poor quality sleep before carnivore. But when I went carnivore, I noticed that I was definitely sleeping a lot deeper. And my issue tends to be getting to sleep. So the diet seemed to help, but like Justin touched on, I had to work on sleep hygiene, which means basically like need your room sort of optimized for sleep. Nice and dark, quiet, cool.
We should get our Bento sleep mask.
Yeah, I sleep with earplugs in now all the time. It helps me tremendously.
I use a noise machine.
I like to say that my super hearing is part of my TISM superpowers. I don't know. So yeah, so I'm real sensitive to noise and light and everything. I have a bunch of red light bulbs I turn on in the evening when I'm getting ready to go to bed. Cut down on the blue light, which hopefully helps produce more endogenous melatonin, right? Because seeing blue light tends to prevent the production of melatonin in your body. I have noticed, we were talking about under eating. If I don't eat enough during the day, I have a much harder time going to sleep. And I think that's just a natural reaction. And maybe that's what that fat does for people, So, and there's a couple people, was it Meat Police or somebody was saying that carbs helped her sleep, but maybe it's just having enough calories, enough energy helps you sleep, right? Maybe you stay aroused because you need to you just need to stay aroused so you can get some more food, right? So anyways, Justin finished. How many eggs was that?
It was a half dozen. It was 6 eggs. So that's dinner. I don't know how many grams of fat and protein that is. Maybe we can look it up, but yeah, I think that's going to be dinner.
Now my sleep score last night was 83. So
awesome.
Stuff that, Justin.
Wow.
Congrats.
You did beat me. Well, I was trying to watch a movie. Now I'm also a fan of the Devil's Lettuce. So I also have the Devil's Lettuce before going to bed. Kind of just because, yeah. But yeah, you could also try CBD extracts, things like that. Over here, I believe in smoking your vegetables, responsibly, of course. Responsibly, of course. So, and I've noticed, so like, I know other people talk about this, but like, the strains do kind of matter. So if I do have something that's high in THC, like a sativa, I will struggle more in the night. And then I've got a really nice indica right now, which has more like CBD. There's a bit of THC in it, but not as much. And so that it feels really nice. I like the strain I'm of the Devil's Lettuce that I'm having right now. It's really calming, really good. But yeah, the sleep hygiene thing, just get off the internet, stop watching silly shows about people talking about meat, go to bed. It's all right. The thing is, which I've actually been more amazed about, is my ability to nap has certainly improved. I used to hate napping. I could not nap for the life of me. And now, like, if I feel tired, if it's like, whatever, 12 or something like that, I don't know, nap time, I can go lay down and lay down for a solid 45 minutes to an hour and wake up feeling really good. And that is new with carnivore 100%. There's also other little things in sleep. There's other people that have done stuff that biphasic sleep. So either certain people, some claim everybody, but I think it's more individualized where your biology is built to sleep like 4 hours or so, be up for a couple of hours, do some stuff, and then sleep for another 4 hours. This whole being asleep for 8 hours is actually kind of unusual, and it's kind of more of a modern culture thing rather than an evolutionary evolved thing. Like such as the Spanish or Latin cultures, they'll often get up in the middle of the night, visit neighbors, have some wine and things like that at like 4 a.m. So there's other parts around the world where their sleep is different. Of course, we know also Latin culture, the siesta, right in the middle of the day. I think some parts of Mexico, I think certainly South America, there's certain cities that literally shut down like in the middle of the day, and everyone just kind of goes to bed.
Well, I think that's a thing in Italy and Spain too.
Right, correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
Latin culture. Yeah, exactly. So a part of it is, if you live in the Western world, a go, go, go society, we're not 9 to 5 creatures. We're probably more like 6 to 6, maybe 6 to 5 creatures,
If you say
and
so.
but I did notice another thing too is I'm such a morning person now. Like I've always kind of been. I've never really been that hit the alarm kind of person. But now it's like sun's up, I'm up, pretty much. And so, and I can't really sleep in anymore. I wish I could sometimes, but even like if I've only gotten like 6 hours, my body's like, it also doesn't help that as soon as I wake up, within the first half hour, I'm starting a workout. So you have the dawn effect, right? And the stronger your dawn effect is, the more engaged your morning is, the stronger dawn effect you're going to have. And so, because I typically push myself the hardest in the morning, my dawn effect is really, really strong. And I've had glucose levels of like 110 just getting up, and it's because my body's like, okay, we're working out. We need the glucose. We're releasing that muscle glycogen, right? For all the muscles to fire correctly. And so, yeah, again, so sake of things like that, if you are a person that works out in the morning, I prefer it. I like working out in the morning so I can shower in the morning, be done with it, etc. Doing a little fasted workout there in the morning. I think that also contributes to waking up in the middle of the night because our bodies, I mean, they're perfectly tuned, but not to our hours of the way that we want them to be, if that makes sense, because it's ancient architecture, So I think that also contributes. If you're go in the morning, your body's like, oh, it's 4 a.m. Let's go. Why not? It doesn't understand that you've got, an 18-hour day from that point.
Yeah. Also, I use blackout curtains because, sometimes I wake up before I want to get up, and if there's any daylight out, then I can't go back to sleep. So,
is brown noise like farting? Like, I mean, I know a lot of people have a lot of different fetishes, and like, if that's what you're into, like,
I'm pretty sure that's not what Team Mark 5 was asking.
Oh, okay, sorry. No, I use white noise because I'm not racist, or does that make me racist? I forget the rules now.
Phil W says he gets in the sauna first thing in the morning. That sounds fantastic. Wish I had a sauna.
Is it a dry sauna or a wet? Is there a difference? Is like a infrared sauna?
We'll have to wait to find out. See if Phil says it one way or the other. Yep. So, and it says SV says a little fat helps her get back to sleep. So that's good. Far infrared. Nice. All right. Yeah, I used to hit the sauna. I used to go to this before I changed jobs. There was a tanning place, and they had infrared sauna. and so used to go over there. I remember one time I walked over there. It was like 40 degrees out or something and raining when I went in
Mhm.
there, and I cranked it up to, I think the max it goes to is like 140 or something. So I went from 40 to 140 in like 5 minutes. A lot of people, just mentioning that a lack of salt can affect sleep. Yeah, and I don't see why not. I don't really know that I've ever experienced it myself. So, and I probably get enough salt at least most of the time. So I try and get some salt water in before I work out. So when I cook my meat, I tend to salt it. When I eat it raw, like the steak I just ate, I don't put anything on it. So
I think cheese keeps me up. I think if I have dairy before bed, like too close to bed, I struggle with sleep. I think it's too much carbohydrate.
nobody can sleep when they fall down the cheese hole.
Yeah, too busy eating cheese.
Yeah, well, yeah. If you, especially if you get more salt than you need, you're gonna have to urinate it out, right? But that's the beauty of carnivore. It's like when people eat a high carb diet, they eat salt and then they bloat, right? They retain water. When you eat a low carb or no carb diet, then you just pee it out the way nature intended.
The way nature intended. Hey, and don't forget a little bit of a self, or if you have a partner, hanky panky time that certs set certain circuits in the brain to help us sleep.
Phil is apparently eating some sort of hallucinogenic cheese because he has crazy dreams.
Write them
Now,
down.
food does affect people's dreams. I've heard people say that when like they eat chocolate or something and go to bed, they have crazy dreams. So I wouldn't be surprised if cheese could do that too. I mean, cheese has a dopaminergic effect on the brain typically, right? It's what is it? Casomorphines, right?
Right.
So yeah, so maybe the casomorphines trigger different types of dreams.
I had some kind of weird ghost nightmare last night. I don't know who I was with, but I think I was like performing a seance and there were like little shadow people. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was abducted last night. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I'm glad you got back in time.
Right.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure you were cheese dreams, huh? Yeah, cheese
I
dreams are the best dreams.
I don't know about other people, but when I the first year or year and a half of carnivore, I would have carbohydrate nightmares. But I would have dreams of going to like a restaurant with friends or something like that, and then getting like a big thing of fries and being like in the back of the head of my dream, I knew I was carnivore.
The back of the head of your dream.
Yeah, like well
Is that
because
is that next to the chicken sink?
that's next to the chicken sink. Well, because when you're dreaming, you're in your subconscious mind. So it's like behind the subconscious mind, a little bit deeper. I knew I was carnivore and I shouldn't have it. So I would freak me out that I was eating fries and it would wake me up and I'd be like, not sweaty, but I'd be like, like freaked out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they change their diet, then they start having these dreams where they're like, it's like that dream, like when you're a kid and you start school and then you have dreams about you're at school and you're naked or whatever. I know, like I had this dream when I was a little kid. I don't know why I remember it, but like the desks were like really tall and I couldn't
Huh.
quite climb up there or something. And probably had the I'm naked at school dream too. But I think it's the same kind of thing. You change your diet and then you have these almost like nightmares, like you said, you're out to eat, and all of a sudden you realize you're eating something that's gonna make you sick, and you're like, oh my god, what did I do? What did I do? I'm gonna feel like shit tomorrow. So yeah, let's see. T Mark 5 mentioned magnesium. Magnesium is associated with relaxation, and of course, I think our pal Austin Cavelli, quality carnivore, right?
Yeah.
She mentioned that magnesium is quite magnesium deficiencies are relatively common. So, and of course, the keto world's all alight with taking magnesium supplements and stuff like that. So I said sublets.
Sublets.
Yeah, let's put that on the list of flubs right next to the chicken sink in the back of my dream's head.
Yeah, so magnesium depends on the person. Some people like me, it actually hypes me up. So I have to do my magnesium in the morning. Yeah. So the whole like mouth taping thing,
Yeah.
I can't get there just because like it's just psychologically disturbing to me. It's just I can't, like, I feel like I'm being like suffocated or something. I do sleep under the covers though. Like I kind of like literally over my head. Like my grandmother, I remember, would always be like, "You're gonna smother to death." It's like I haven't died. Like cotton's porous enough or whatever, blankets are made of these days. Where like you're not gonna smother. You're not gonna die. Or at least I haven't yet.
I've never tried the mouth taping either. It sounds interesting. Of course, ever since I had the modern pestilence around Christmas, I've had like allergies. My nose keeps plugging up. So if I tape my mouth shut, I might be in trouble. So
Yeah, and I feel like I try not to make sleep too complicated. Like I already, have the devil's lettuce, turn off whatever degenerate video I'm watching that evening, uh, wipe myself down, turn on the sound machine, get my eye mask, so I've got like a neck pillow because I've got neck issues from a car accident. So I've got my neck pillow stacked on top of two other pillows, and then I put the
are you
covers over
sleeping
myself.
standing up or what?
I wish. I wish I was sleeping. So I sleep like upside down. So like reverse. Like I feel like most people when they put their head like closest to the wall or to the headboard. And actually that's good for you psychologically. Because if
That's
you
why they
actually,
call it a headboard. Yeah.
yeah, psychologically, because
The other one's called a footboard.
right. So actually having your back to a wall actually indicates to your body that you're safe, because in ancient time when we were in caves, you would never sit to the opening of the cave. We would always sit to a wall of the cave.
Are you sure?
That was explained to me that way,
Hmm.
because it would be too easy for you to get grabbed by something or like attacked.
Right.
Yeah, right. Um, and I forgot I feel like I kind of lost my own story. Okay, yeah. But I sleep away from the wall, or like my back, like my head or nothing against anything. And that feels comfortable to me. And I've always kind of done that. And if I could sleep in a coffin, I would. I really want a
Just
coffin.
order one.
I know. I should order a coffin. I like
So
that'd be most
SV
comfortable.
says when she goes, or I don't know if that's a male or female, I have no idea. But when SV falls down the carb hole, SV gets crazy dreams. So maybe we need to do a dream experiment. Justin can smoke his vegetables. Somebody can eat some carbs. Somebody can eat some cheese. Somebody can fast. Somebody can eat a chunk of fat, and we'll all compare dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Putting tape over your mouth just kind of is like I'm trying to kidnap myself. I just like that's what I mean psychologically. I can't get there.
SV's a dude.
Would I say she? Am I
No, I
misgendering
didn't know.
people?
I was saying I don't know if SV's a male or female. So now we know.
Everyone in our chat is non-binary. I've deemed it so. Yes,
we're all it's.
they're they them. Everyone in our chat is they them.
They them. Right.
Yes.
I'll remember that. Yeah. So another good thing about the Fitbit is it measures your O2 saturation while you're sleeping, and it can detect like snoring and stuff like that, and breaks in breathing and stuff like that. So it's pretty handy. In fact, it has a thing called a snore report. It tells you how loud you were and how long it lasted. And of course, if your O2 sats start dropping, then you're probably not breathing.
Yeah, it does show you like the spikes. I don't know. Mine's kind of. I haven't been able to make any sense out of my spikes or whatever.
I guess we have to call Phil Our Majesty or Your Majesty. That's non-binary, right?
No, Majesty would be male, wouldn't it?
I don't know. Can't you call Queen Majesty as well?
I guess the Queen is also Majesty. Yeah. All I know is that I'm King of the Moon.
King of the Moon.
King of the Moon. Yeah.
All right. Justin apparently sleeps upside down like a bat.
Like a bat. Yeah.
Get more brain and more blood to your brain that way, right?
There you go. It's better for the dreams.
Right. There you go. We gotta add that to dream experiments. So we have to hang upside down and dream.
There you go. You should sleep in your inversion table.
Yeah, I should, shouldn't I? Speaking of dreams, I did have a crazy dream, I remember, and I was chasing somebody's pet monkey around. I was worried it was gonna get run over by a car or something. I was like, how
Aw.
come nobody's worried about this monkey, And yeah, I don't know. I don't even know whose monkey it was, but it was like, it was a dream, so maybe it doesn't matter.
Maybe it was your monkey. That's why you're so concerned about it.
Yeah, could be. So Phil sleeps in an inclined bed.
Huh.
Yeah, I know people do that. I mean, people put, they raise their lower one into the bed for various reasons. So I like to be laying down flat. I don't know if I'm laying on my back, I don't even put a pillow under my head because, one, I just sink into the mattress till it comes up to my head. So I sleep on and I didn't mention the chili pad. So one of the ways I was trying to improve my sleep was using a chili pad because chili pad lets you warm or cool that layer between you and the mattress. And my girlfriend gets cold easy and blah blah blah. So
Because all women are reptiles.
right, and then but I haven't really talked about chili pad because I waited a long time to get one because they're not cheap. They're in the hundreds of dollars. I forget what I paid. Let's say like $600 or $700 at least. And first, the control unit that, in my case, I use it to chill. The chili pad is basically like this mattress pad with rubber hoses, I guess, in it. And it circulates
Sounds
water.
kinky, Tom.
Yeah. And there's a control unit that either warms or cools the liquid, the water. And that unit started leaking. So it was not good for my hardwood floors that I hand laid. And then after a while, the hose for the mattress thing started leaking. There's like this part where there's like this insulation on it. There's water dripping out. Of course, again, not good for my hardwood floors that I hand laid. So they replaced all that for free, but and I actually haven't put the new mattress pad in yet and turn it on, but it's starting to get warm. Probably going to start getting warm, so I will probably be hooking that up. And when it works, it's great, because it's not like it can reduce the temperature an infinite amount, but it's kind of based on ambient temperature. So let's say it's 77 in your bedroom, it could drop it by like the liquid temperature by like 20 degrees or something, which is nice because it keeps that it's like that heat that built up between you and the mattress is what it's really addressing, right? And actually you can sleep with more blankets on because it helps keep out the extra heat. So the idea is that, if you're trying to cool down, the chili pad should be more than able to pump out all the extra heat and get your temperature down. So, which is kind of nice because I actually do like sleeping with a weighted blanket. So that's a thing popular. A lot of people with popular people got a bit of the tism, right? There's something, not that you have to have that to enjoy it, but there's something very relaxing about sleeping under a weighted blanket. So I do have a heavy weighted blanket that's good. It's full of glass beads to help you stay cooler. And then I've got another one, a typical sand one that's not quite as heavy. So,
Your winter weighted blanket.
That's right. The winter and the summer version.
There you go. Jeez. Talk about privilege. Hey, Adek. Good to see you. Thanks for the compliment.
Oh, Deck's in here. That's fantastic. Speaking of which, where's Ray? Ghosted us.
He did ghost us. I haven't talked to him in forever. It's been a while.
Yeah, we gotta get it, Ray. And if for everybody who didn't, just before the show, we started a little late because we were actually talking to Emily. So Emily and Joe. Joe wasn't talking too much because he's got a sore throat, but got to say hey to both of them. Um, Emily hasn't been on a video in a long time, but her and Ray and Joe are some of the originals here on Meat Mosaic before we even had a name for it. So hopefully we'll all be back on here together before too long.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah, a cold shower can be helpful. I see Stranded 360s mentioned that. Yeah, so a lot of that's successful. It's kind of weird because the science shows that a warm bath um it winds up having the same effect as a cold shower by altering your body temperature. It helps people fall asleep. So even though it seems like it would be because when you get a warm bath, your body tries to cool down your core. When you take a cold shower, you're cooling down your body, and that's drawing heat out of your core, and that helps you go to sleep. All right, Sharon 360 talking about blue blockers too. Yeah, our dear friend BNS managed to see if I've got. Do I have my Theraspecs are at work? I don't have them here. Yeah, BNS is a big fan of the blue blockers. He sold out the entire global inventory one time. For those of you who don't know BNS, he's a friend of ours. He's got a carnivore channel in India. I don't know. He does it in English and in it's gonna haunt me now. I forgot what language he speaks. It's
Swahili. Just kidding.
definitely not Swahili. What the hell?
Well, good to say. I hope Ray is busy good and not bad busy.
Yeah, now I'm sure Ray is good busy. I was texting him the other day. He said things were going good for him. So
Yeah.
yeah, now BNS isn't Hindi. He's what was the name of the town we were going to?
Oh geez, I can't remember.
Yeah, we almost went to see BNS. But COVID prevented that. God, what is it? Anyways, I'll look at it. I'll look it up later. Poor BNS, I forgot. But anyways, he's from like the central eastern part of India.
Hey, we're Americans. We only know the places that we bomb, that are government bombs. That's pretty much how we learn our world geography. Have you seen that? I think it was the Washington Post posted a quiz for people to like identify where Ukraine is on a map, and the American people failed. Like they truly failed. There was a bunch of people that pointed to like Greenland, Australia, some in the United States. It was hilarious. So if you want to laugh, look up. I think it was the Washington Post. People trying to identify where Ukraine is. It's great. I'm not saying I would do that much better. I think I would at least hit Russia or maybe Romania. But yeah, anyway, just a little fun fact there. Americans in geography.
Well, when I was a kid, it was all Russia,
Russia.
We didn't go back to school to learn what all the countries were when the Soviet Union broke up.
And to be fair, Ukraine has only been a country-ish for like 30 years. I mean, I'm older than Ukraine.
I'm looking at the map and I can't find the region he's from. Damn it. Oh well. We'll have to have BNS on to explain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he better book my flight for me because otherwise I'll end up in like Thailand or somewhere else. Be like, I don't know where I am.
Yeah, we gotta make plans to go see him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's from Telangana.
Oh, that's right.
They speak like Telegon or something. I forgot how to say it. So yeah, I don't know that much.
Wait, I thought it was the Filipinos that speak Tagalog.
That's a different language.
I know, I'm just being a jerk.
Just being a
We're,
jerk.
we are the culturally sensitive carnivore channel. Remember?
Right? Of course we are. So yeah, and for those of you wondering, yeah, BNS uh, does not eat cows.
Right.
Yeah, eats a lot of goat though. Should make a movie, Men Who Eat Goats.
The Men Who Eat Goats. Oh, that'd be a fun one.
But don't ask BNS how to cook a goat because he doesn't have to bother himself with things like that. He's much too
That's
busy.
peasants. That's for peasants.
Joe cools down his room with AC. Yeah, well, wait till your everybody else in the house is freezing to death because it's below. I don't know what it would be in Celsius, but you know, my girlfriend freaks out if it gets below like 75. You know, that's still. I mean, that's definitely shorts and t-shirt weather for me. So I would think for most people, but yeah, and I think the science says that the average person sleeps best in a room that's like 63 degrees Fahrenheit.
I thought it was 65, but maybe it's 63.
Yeah, or something like that. Let's see. 63 F2C. That's 17.2 degrees Celsius. Stranded just turns off the heat at night. Yeah, I don't run the heat at night either. It's not really necessary where I live. I mean, even if it gets down to freezing at night here, it'll never get that cold in the house. I guess if you left all the windows open and a fan blowing the cold air in, then it might get down. But yeah. So I live where it's pretty warm all the time. I mean, it could be it could be 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the afternoon and below freezing at night occasionally. So let's see, 80 degrees Fahrenheit is 26.7 degrees Celsius for our metric friends out there.
International crowd.
But the thing about the AC too is the power here is very expensive. So if you got to run, in the summer months when it's hot here, you got to run your AC all day, every day. That's like a $500 electric bill. Could be more. I had a neighbor one time that had a $1,400 electric bill for 1 month. So yeah, chili pad's a little more power efficient, let's say, because you're really just chilling one person in an insulated bed. So a deck likes it when her house is 50. I could deal with 50. I may not be wearing shorts and a t-shirt, but 50 would be fine. 60 is fine. But everybody else gets freezes. So
because they eat vegetables and carbohydrates. Well, that's another thing too, is that like we're pretty efficient, and so we could stand a little bit of the extreme cold a little bit.
Yeah, Phil's saying the chili pad uses about 160 watts. So I think I have two air conditioners because I have a 2-story house. So with when it's running, I think it's something like 4,500 watts when they're running, something like that. So it'll give you some idea. 160 watts versus 4,500 watts. Yeah, it's a big difference. So yeah. Stranded 360 doesn't like the cold even at 100%. Well, I can hear you. So maybe Stranded should move here and I should move wherever Stranded is. So yeah. So anyways, I think I'm gonna eat a raw steak all week and report back next week. So I mean, I just kind of randomly eat raw. Like when I go get fresh steak, and I tend to just eat it raw. But then I start cooking it. And if like I'm carrying it around, like I'm getting ready to prepping meals for work, I do several days at a time. I tended to just cook it, and then I didn't have to worry. I do. I take my meals to work in glass containers with sealed lids, and I put it in my backpack with ice packs, so it's always cold. So I'm not really worried about it spoiling or anything. So yeah, I'll give the cast iron a vacation and just eat raw all week.
There you go. Less to clean up.
See if it makes a difference. See if I sleep better, have better workouts. I don't know.
So is that raw? So like raw eggs? Or are you literally just gonna have raw steak?
I guess I'm gonna try some raw eggs. I got eggs. A Deck's loving raw right now, but just 25% of my meal. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, I never really like ate the raw meat for any particular reason. Sometimes I did notice when I ate raw meat, I felt like energized. And that's true. Yeah, I think Emily's still eating all raw. So, and I didn't want to miss Phil mentioned cold plunges. Yeah, I used to have a cattle tub in the backyard, but I would, to get it cold in the summer, I had to buy like 80 pounds of ice. It was a real pain in the ass. And then I thought I was going to move, so I sold it. But yeah, I'm with you. I've got a big wine barrel back there. I'm not sure if I can fit in it. I may try that. It may need the fire truck to get me out of it, but yeah, raw liver, stranded 360 mentioned raw liver. Yeah, and raw liver in particular can give you that sort of feeling of exhilaration or it's a little bit of euphoria. So, but I don't eat a lot of raw liver. It's never really liked liver. Never really liked river. There you go. Put a river on the list with chicken sink and blood gooses. Yeah, I wonder how many people out there eat liver. Oh, high meat. Yeah, I've only had the high liver one time. That's the only high meat I've ever tried. And yeah, there's something going on there too. I don't know what that was. Again, it's another sort of semi-euphoric sort of feeling you get when you eat it, but it's such a hassle because it stinks so bad, right? You kind of like need a good place to store it outside because there's no jar that can completely seal that aroma, right? It lingers. So you need like a jar within a jar, hermetically sealed. Yeah. So I don't know. And besides, I always wonder, it's like, what if something went wrong? Because you're supposed to let it breathe and stuff like that. What if you forget and you eat it? Or the neighbor's cat gets in your trash can. What's going to happen? Besides, that if I threw something like that away, I'd probably have 40 coyotes in my backyard. SV says, no liver for me. Just shoot the Russian doll. I think he's talking about the jars. Again, 360. I don't know. A stranded 360. I don't know if you're male or female. So
they, them.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should do that. I'll set that up as a prank. I'll have nested jars with a little piece of liver in the bottom. Why not?
It takes what? Is it 60 or 90 days? Or is it 30 days? Something like that.
I was thinking it was somewhere around 90 days. Like I said, I only did it once because it's kind of repulsive, but I don't know. Some of the cheeses I like other people think are repulsive. Frozen raw liver, yeah, that's how a lot of people do it when they want to get their vitamins in and they hate liver. Although I will say cow liver does not taste as good as pig liver. Pig liver does not taste as good as chicken liver, but I hesitate to eat chicken liver raw. So yeah, I think it's just likely to get contaminated when they're processing the chicken. So, and then there's always Braunschweiger. I don't know why more people don't eat it because it's freaking delicious.
Mm-hmm.
and it's pig liver mixed with pig fat and then seasoned. And yeah, we mentioned it before. It has usually has something like potato starch in it, and I think they the calf liver I get isn't that great. I have a hard time telling it from regular beef liver, so that might just be a quality issue. Yeah, liverwurst. Liverwurst and Braunschweig are very similar, sort of. They're basically the same thing. They're just seasoned a little different. So my local source for Braunschweiger is fantastic, and it's cheap. It's like
You mean Aldi?
yeah. The stuff I buy at Aldi, which I would imagine most people have access to, is like $2 a pound or no. How much is it?
Ooh, we should
Probably more than that.
do a week of only eating Braunschweiger.
Well, I could tell you, I can't make a meal out of it because it's really fatty.
Oh yeah,
So it's kind of like a
you don't
condiment.
really get a lot of protein.
That would be like trying to eat an entire diet of cream cheese or something.
I don't know, Braunschweiger wrapped in turkey. That we have protein.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's great on pork rinds.
Oh, I haven't done that yet. I've got some extra pork rinds. Maybe this coming weekend I'll go and get some Braunschweiger. Now you're making me crave it again.
It's good. It's good. It's cheap. I don't have any negative reactions to the seasonings in that or the potato starch. I mean, and like I said, it's a very small part of my diet, because you can't eat that much of it. It comes in like a 1 pound chub pack. I don't know what you call it, like 1 pound torpedo.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's going to be at least a week to eat that. So
yeah, it takes a minute.
It keeps a long time though. It doesn't spoil. It's all preserved.
It's like 3 months or something.
My dog loves it. Oh my God. Of course, my dog loves any liver in any form. So I dehydrate liver for my dog. So my dog has treats. So I don't really like it. I eat it once in a while, but I don't like that flavor. So
Deck, do you use a blender for all that? Or are you just grabbing that all separately? Or are you just throwing it into a mixing, like a Vitamix jar thing? The raw liver with a raw egg and raw marrow.
Egg yolks and marrow.
No, yeah, that's a vitamin shake. That's a Vita shake right there. If that don't make you feel healthy, I'm not sure what would.
That'd be awesome if you could make like a Braunschweiger with bone marrow.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Sweet.
That'd be great.
We'll add that to the Giebler Clark fine meat selection.
Fine bologna.
One of these days, Justin and I are gonna have our own bologna company. I think we're gonna have our own Braunschweiger.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be the only North American supply for Gamelos cheese. the old Norwegian cheese, which is no longer available to my chagrin.
I saw a comment recently that was like, I hate that cheese. And they're like, yeah.
There was, I forgot his name, but there was a guy one of the guys watching the video commented he's Norwegian, and he said, I don't like that cheese.
Yeah.
I will admit I like it more now that I can't get it than when it was available. So one of those
things that like you just have a romanticized view.
I found it in stores in Norway online, and then I asked them, "Oh, will you ship it to the U.S.?" And they never reply. Every once in a while, I go back and ask, and they
probably get that as like a prank, like people pranking them, so they stop sending it. You need to get a number. You need to call their customer service line.
Yeah, and I think it's just like a mom and pop store. It's not like a big chain, so they don't seem to have a lot of online resources. They have a website, but just to get you to come in the store, I think.
Or get you to go to Norway. There you go.
I mean, you got to remember, Norway's like 5 million people. It's not even one county in Southern California. So, yeah, we had a visitor from Sweden, we were talking about numbers, and it's a little over 10 million people in all of Sweden, which is twice as many as Norway. And there's still probably more people in Los Angeles County than there is in all of Sweden. So
Oh yeah. I think LA County is like 36 million, something like that.
LA County, yeah, no, I think LA County is like 10 million or something like that, 12 million.
Oh,
I don't know, I
where I
could be
got
wrong.
maybe that's all of California is 36 million.
Yeah, I think we were up there closer to 50 million.
Hmm.
And then now, of course, people are fleeing in droves. Have you heard of that? People moving out of California to other places, Justin?
So weird. Why would they ever do such a thing? I
I don't
mean,
know.
don't they like the tent cities, uh,
Traffic?
skyrocketing rent, traffic? I mean, it's a joy. You got the celebrities though. Come on now, them Hollywood move is.
Mm. Hey, so what are you paying for gas out there in Springfield?
Ooh. Uh, so I have a 6-cylinder, so I only put premium. I paid like 408 a gallon, and it hurt.
Yeah, it's the cheapest I've seen recently is 549 for regular. That's not even premium.
What is premium? Scared to know. What's it got to be like what
Yeah,
six
it's
fifty?
$6 a gallon. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty of stations where like regular gas is. So it starts at like 609.
I like that we have lore. Our channel has lore. Me being taken down by a weak bird. Yeah, the lore. Yeah, that's why I kind of stay away from the raw. Raw eggs I've been doing since before carnivore though.
Well, the problem is in chicken processing. It's true of ducks. It's like it's very difficult to have like a large slaughterhouse processing chickens and not contaminate the meat with salmonella or stachybotrys and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's the issue with it. I mean, if you got a nice healthy chicken and you butcher yourself, I mean, they still serve raw chicken in Japan and stuff like that, but the chicken's got to be handled right from the get go. Otherwise, you're just gonna get sick. And if you ever watch the videos, like they tell people not to wash their chicken, just go right from the package to the pan because the the bacteria spreads so easily when you're handling chicken. So
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm sure. And you know what? The last time I actually did try raw chicken, it was a lot tougher than I imagined. So so yeah, it's like I'm not messing with it.
Well, and hey, we've had Asa on here who had some raw squirrel. So here you go. We don't recommend, but
No, I know a guy who got really sick from cooked squirrel. So yeah, squirrel. It depends. Like, well, the guys I know, they ate some ground squirrels, and there was a hog farm in the area, and the squirrels all had some parasitic worm from eating hog feces or something, and they got it. They both got it. So horror story. Because it took them a while to figure out what was wrong with these guys. Because nobody goes to the doctor with after having eaten a couple dozen ground squirrels that are contaminated with some rare parasitic worm. So, but anyways, so hello to Christina the carnivore. Glad you
hello.
made it. Glad you made it. So Joe says he's paying $2.44 a liter. So we got to do the math on that. The liter's like a quart. So $2.44, and then I just happened to look it up yesterday to see that I think the Australian dollar is something like 76 cents to the US dollar. So he's paying 244 times 4. That's 976. That's a little bit over a gallon. So 976 times 0.76. So he's paying $7.41 a gallon. Woo! He's paying at least $7 a gallon. So there
Now,
you
is
go.
that also with the conversion of the Australian? What the hell monies do they use? Sorry,
Dollars.
rubles, dollars, Australian dollars.
No,
It's
I think
American dollars.
didn't Australia just switch over to the peso? No,
No, I think it's the won.
I think I saw that on the Onion the other day. Here it's 210 euro per liter, so that's cheaper than Australia probably. Although the euro is worth a little more than the U.S. dollar, and the Australian dollar is worth a little less than the U.S. dollar. So that's going to be a lot of math. Dustin, pencil that out.
No way. There's no way I could do that math.
Oh, Phil says that they're using the yuan in Australia now. Well, thanks, Phil. Thanks for straightening that out. Joe's probably about to have a fit.
Yeah, so chicken's a nice side. I made chicken tacos last night. But yeah, certainly not as satisfying as beef. I would do pork. Pork, I feel like, is satisfying. It just isn't as tasty.
I ate a lot of pork for a while. So one reason was, my sister's from Iowa. When you go back to Iowa, they have the world's greatest smoked chops. They're just unbelievable. But she had sent me a bunch of pork from her butcher, and I was eating all different cuts. But I didn't seem to do as well in my workouts.
I'd love some great pork chops. I just don't know how to get them to not come out dry. Just
yeah. Cooking pork is a little tricky so it doesn't dry out. I'm sure Joe has some pointers. Apparently, the new currency in Australia is actually marbles. So from pesos to yuan to marbles. Wow. How would you like to be changing all the price tags in the store?
8 marbles, 10 marbles.
Yeah.
I guess still more stable than crypto.
Yeah, Phil says he thinks Chinese own a lot of Australia. Well, you know what, Phil? They literally have tour buses full of Chinese people driving around buying houses in my neighborhood. I'm not lying. I got a letter yesterday from some Chinese company that wanted to buy my house. I'm not lying.
I learned this. So one of my good friends married a Vietnamese woman, not two. I'd be more jealous. Anyway, a Vietnamese woman, and there's sites that are like Asian domains of real estate that are like Asian to Asian, like realty. Like you have to know about the site and you have to know like that realtor to bid on the property or to buy the property. Like it's really like underground.
I wonder if we can go buy up places in China.
I mean, maybe if you're Hunter Biden.
Isn't Thailand like where everybody's all happy? Where everybody's in a good mood? Isn't that what Thailand's known for? 1,000 smiles.
I think it's because of the lady boys.
It's got to be more than that.
I know. Have you seen their lady boys? Just that out there.
I've never been there.
You have the internet.
Yeah, I never thought to look.
Anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
Save me, Tom. Thank you.
India owns a lot of the mines in Australia. Interesting. Thailand is a happy place. The lady boys are gorgeous.
There you go.
All right, so we have two of you that to vouch for the lady boys in Thailand.
There you go. Thank you.
I wonder how the steak is over there.
Do they have cows? I mean, I guess
there's cows and buffalo all over the place. But I don't know if they eat them or they just, they're just like draft animals, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we have to do a carnivore tour around the world.
Casey, the meat police, I think he was saying something about that. Like, he's like, there's freaking cows everywhere, but like you go to buy beef and I think he was saying something like that. Like you could buy chicken and pork all day, but it was hard to find the beef. And I started wondering, they probably, because, like ox and buffalo and stuff like that, they're good draft animals, especially if you're a small farmer. Like I think in particular, like the water buffalo do better in the warmer climates. So the deck says they eat all meat in Thailand, but douse it in spice and sauce. Yeah, I've read that a lot of world travelers like take plenty of your favorite hot sauce with just in case. That's true because you get even beef or lamb from different places and it tastes different. And it's just the vegetation they use different from place to place. Grass from one place tastes different than grass from somewhere else, or so I hear, or
Oh,
so I witness via the eating the flesh of the ruminants.
well, and supposedly in parts of the Eastern European countries, they like sugar all their meat, like all their meat's kind of sweet. Like when Michaela Peterson was in Serbia, she like kept getting kind of sick from their meat and learned that all their meat has like sugar in it apparently, or something like that.
Well, if you're a fan of Anthony Bourdain and you watched his TV shows like No Reservation, you find out that they frequently add sugar to a lot of stuff in the kitchen just because people eat it. They go, oh wow, this is delicious, and then it doesn't even cross their mind that there's sugar on the carrots and the steak and everything else. An ounce of sauce covers 1,000 sins or something like that is what they say. I'm not sure what Joe's talking about. He's like, you'd be in heaven, Justin. The next thing he says is they eat them. He's talking about ladyboys still?
I don't know. I'm not gonna acknowledge that.
Or talking about Phil and the dog. And let's face it, we don't eat dog here, but a lot of places do. They have since the beginning of time. Everybody used to eat dogs, right?
And horse.
Oh yeah. Horse is not inspected by the U.S. government officials, but you can get horse from somebody who slaughters a horse. In Canada, I think they still eat horse. In France, of course, they eat horse. Belgium, they eat horse. Yeah. So, and I mean, there's all kinds of horse species that went extinct, and I'm sure some of that had to do with predation by humans, although it was mostly by climate. So,
what about giraffe? Would you eat giraffe?
well, they were saying it's delicious.
Oh, really?
So why not?
Yeah.
I wonder how long it takes one of them to grow up.
I know. Well, I think they start out bigger than me.
They eat horse in Holland. One of these days. I bet you they don't eat a lot of horse in Thailand just because it's so warm there.
My dream is to eat penguin.
Yeah. Any particular kind of penguin?
The emperor penguin, the big angry looking one. Looks like they're pretty nice and fatty. I imagine it'd be close to duck.
Well, they eat fish, right?
Right. Oh, probably plenty of like omega-3s. Probably really healthy. Maybe I could start selling like penguin oil. I'll start a penguin farm.
Because if I'm not mistaken, there's like Arctic penguins, and then there's penguins that live in warmer climates in South America.
Right.
Like two different kind. We could probably farm penguins. What if we were farming penguins and giraffes?
I think we'd be quite popular.
Penguin and giraffe. I wonder what kind of sausage that would make. How about elephants? I mean, let's face it. That's probably closest to our original diet that we evolved on.
Yeah, but I think that'd make a lot of people angry.
For sure. I mean, penguins and elephants are kind of in that pet category, even though nobody really has them as pets. Although, what's his name? One of those singers, is famous for like Vegas. I think he had a place out in Las Vegas, and he had a bunch of penguins. Who is it? What was his name? Did you ever hear that story?
I don't think so. I don't remember that.
Or ostrich. People. There are some ostrich and emu and stuff around here too. I don't think people raise them in great numbers where I live, but people do have them on their property. So
Ooh, scrambled ostrich egg. It's gonna be amazing.
there's a couple places that actually have that on the menu. So
Really?
like the ostrich egg makes an enormous omelet.
Right. Well, it's like a dozen eggs and like an egg.
Yep. I saw some llamas and alpacas today too. So a lot of people, believe it or not, if we're well, a lot of places have problems with coyotes, right? If you have coyotes and you got animals that are susceptible to being eaten by said coyotes, the two things you want around are donkeys and llamas. You may not believe this, but a donkey will F up a whole pack of coyotes in a hot minute. They not only kick their asses, they pick their corpses up and parade them around to show off.
Is there a
And
video of that? I'll have to look that up.
I'm sure there is because they do it. They trample them like nobody's business. And the llamas too. If you ever get close to a llama, check out the feet.
Oh yeah, no, they're
There's gigantic freaking toes, right?
right.
And I was talking to this lady. She had this llama. She had a petting zoo, right? And
Uh-huh.
she had this llama, and I was like, asked her about the llama. It's like first time I'd been up close with a llama. And she's like, "Oh yeah, he's really friendly, but he's a little sketchy right now." He's like, "Because there must be coyotes around." I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, they have like super coyote detecting abilities. Like it's freaky. Like they know they can tell there's a coyote out there before all the other animals in the barn, are in the petting zoo." And she said, and she's like, yeah, they're like experts. And she's like telling me about the feet, and the feet are just huge, right? They're
Right.
big. They don't look like they belong on that animal. They don't look like they belong on any animal with these big toes, And she's like, oh yeah, it's like the coyote. If the coyote gets close, the llama will just trample it, just murders it outright. It's like, really? And she's like, yeah, but they get freaked out long before the coyote gets close. But then all the other animals know. It's like, wow, that's some crazy stuff.
I always think of llamas as such helpless, but they don't like what they just eat like grains, right? They're herbivores.
Yeah, I think llamas just eat greens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, just like ostrich and emu are similar. And, I think alpacas and llamas are similar. And there's another, what's the other one that looks like a llama? I forgot what it's called. But anyways, yeah, they're all kind of similar animals. Well, you see them. I don't think the alpacas. I didn't get real close to them, but there's a place at farm near my house that they have 4 or 5 of them, and I don't think they have as big a feet as the llamas.
Camel, isn't camel kind of along the same line?
Yeah, llamas do spit, and they are territorial. In fact, I worked the job I had for a long time, this engineering company. We had a survey crew. They got attacked by a llama one time. It's funny because surveyors, you're out working and they run into shady people all the time. They get guns pulled on them and stuff like that. Neighbors are in disputes over property lines, so they're used to they're used to a little bit of rough stuff, and they work pretty hard. That could be a tough job, and they got run off by a freaking llama. So,
well, with those feet, I mean,
I wouldn't mess with those feet. No, I don't know, man. If you're around a llama, you better be on his good side, because those feet. Just looking at those feet is scary. So Dex saying, I've had wildebeest. I have not had that. She's had new warthog, antelope, but no giraffe. Well, you got something to live for, a deck. I've had antelope, but I've never had warthog or wildebeest. I don't. I've had some exotic animals, but most of it was in the form of like preserved meat, so I don't get that fresh around here.
Have you had a buffalo steak before, like a ribeye from a buffalo?
No.
Yeah, they had that at like this organic market back when I
Really, in
lived back in
steak form.
California. Yeah, it was a ribeye. It was a buffalo ribeye. It was like very, it was very gamey. Like it tasted wild. You know what I mean? It was good. It was kind of small though. I think like they trimmed the fat or whatever, but you know, it was a
Yeah.
ribeye and it was really tender and it was good. It's just more, way more gamey.
Mm. Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll get more big bison herds. I know there are people farming them now, but maybe things will go back to the way they were for a long time.
Maybe we
Right?
could slowly climb our way back. We'll go from cow to bison, bison to elephant, and elephant to finally mammoth.
Yeah, Phil mentioned having buffalo burgers on Catalina. They used to have
Chicken.
there's buffalo on wild buffalo on Catalina. They were left there by a movie crew that was filming a western. They just like, yeah, leave them here. But of course, there's all these islands that have goats on them. Like the back in the day, the sailors, like they would they would leave goats on islands, and so they would have fresh meat when they rolled through next time. And some of these little islands are just overrun with goats. I want to say it's the Australian government, but it may be not. I think it is the Australian government. There's some islands where they go out and just have to mow them down with rifles from a helicopter. There's so many goats on these islands. It's kind of like the pig problem they have in Texas, where it's just like, yeah, you just run a helicopter and machine guns and just fly around strafing wild hogs.
Wouldn't you
Oh,
like to do that, Tom? Just once.
nah, I don't. You know what? The machine gunning for a helicopter seems kind of dumb, but going out pig hunting, that's a good time.
Mhm.
It's kind of tough because here you can't really hunt much after dark. It's not You're not really supposed to, but you can hunt pig with a bow year round, which is good. I know my buddy went out, shot a couple of hogs with his brother-in-law, and they had really good rifles, but we were like 80 yards away, which is kind of the outside range with a bow. That's kind of like your limit. But yeah, that'd be a funner hunt. He said he hit this pig with a so for you guys out there who are into guns, one of them was a Winchester short mag, and he said that when at 80 yards, a Winchester short mag went through a really big hog like it was tissue paper, just right through him. And then the other one they shot with a 6.5 Creedmoor, but it was like a hand loaded 160 grain bullet, which is really big for a 6.5 Creedmoor is usually a lighter round that you use for long range target shooting. But he wanted a heavier bullet for shooting. But still, even at 80 yards, it knocked a big hog over. And he said it hit that pig and it flipped it over and it kept rolling down the hill. And every time it bounced, it made a squealing noise. Like there was air coming out the hole, like all the way down the hill. So, yeah, it just smacked it over. So there's not a whole lot of challenge with a really accurate rifle at 80 yards. I mean, and of course, half the challenge is packing the meat out because a lot of, like in Riverside, the Badlands is, um, it's all rocky hills, right? Steep hills or mountains. So that's the real that's the real problem is once you find something to shoot, you shoot it, then you got to carry it out. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So this looks like Phil shot something. Oh, I don't know if he shot a buffalo or a wild boar. Oh, a wild boar, maybe at Catalina with a crossbow. Yeah, we don't have the same rules here anymore with crossbows. Like crossbows considered a firearm now, so there's a few more restrictions on it. Whereas the bow, a regular bow, like compound bow or recurve, you can shoot year round. And in areas where you're kind of close to dwellings, it's a lot, you know, they let you use a bow because obviously a rifle bullet's going to travel a lot farther than an arrow is. So, but the hunting area is infested with homeless people who want to rob you or be your friend, which kind of presents a problem when you're trying to eat. Oh, those back in the 80s, huh? Yeah. So a lot of other states outside of California, they allow crossbow and bow season, which is usually at the beginning of like deer season. The first week will be bow season. So guys with bows get to go out first. So yeah, precision crossbow is pretty amazing. My buddy bought one, and it's a tack driver. It is crazy accurate and crazy powerful. So, of course, you only get one shot off typically because it takes a while to load. So, but yeah, I don't know. It'd be nice if we could have some buffalo and some pig hunting and put the animals back on the land. And then maybe for Thanksgiving, we could stuff a buffalo with a pig and then put a goose in the pig and then put a duck in the goose and then roast that. That'd be good times.
Would be good times.
It'd be great times. Just got to remember to eat enough, right, everybody?
Right. Eat enough. Well, yeah, something that delicious would be easy to eat enough. Hey, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. I don't know if there's a carnivore thing to do for St. Patrick's Day.
Corned beef?
Corned beef? But that's corn in it.
No.
No?
I've never seen corn in corned beef.
Well, I mean, doesn't it have grain? I thought it's like a grain, like flour or something. No?
No, it's pickled. It's like pastrami.
Oh.
What the hell? How could you not know that?
I think I get confused
Buffalo,
between
yeah.
corned beef and hash. That's what I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah, corned beef hash is the corned beef is just it's just a slab of meat that's kind of pickled. It's brined, right? I don't even know if they eat that in Ireland. It'd be interesting to find out because another one of those wacky American traditions that has nothing to do with St. Patrick or Ireland or you know, St. Patrick's famous for chasing the snakes out of Ireland.
Right.
But there's been no snakes there since before the Pleistocene, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Perhaps he chased out the druids. Maybe that's what it's all about.
Maybe.
So Christina says, "Oh yeah, T-Mox says corn means soaked in brine," and Christina the carnivore says they use whole peppercorns in the brine. Oh yeah, I've seen it because a lot of times you buy the corned beef and it's like in a bag, kind of. It's got the liquid in there, and you can see the peppercorns in there. So, yeah, it's just like a brine season. It's probably a tougher cut. It's a very grainy cut of meat. So I don't know if it's like maybe a brisket or rump roast or whatever it is. I'm not even sure. Joe probably knows. I wonder if they have corned beef in Australia. There is a solution they pump into corned beef. Oh, thanks, Joe. Maybe Joe knows what cut of beef that is. Come on. Where's my answer, Joe? I'm tired of waiting already. Yeah, we should have some green cheese for St. Patty's Day. Isn't that usually like the 17th or something?
Yeah, I think it's
Isn't that today?
No, today's the 13th.
Oh.
It's like on a Thursday or something.
Oh hell. Better start looking for some green cheese. Well, gamelos can be kind of greenish sometimes. It's often kind of brownish, and it smells like cat piss. It's really good.
Still not convinced.
I don't think even FedEx would get it here from Norway in time. Joe says it is brisket.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, I'm going to go buy some corned beef right now and save it till you get here. You probably won't eat it. He's too picky. All right, so we wrap this one up. We covered eating raw.
Yeah. Covered eating raw. Organs and raw steak, raw eggs.
All right, I'm gonna try adding raw eggs into my diet. I've been meaning to give it a whirl, see what happens.
Yeah. See how
I
it
don't think I
goes.
bought enough steak today though. I actually bought 2 ribeyes because they were still on sale. It was the last 2,
Mm.
and I bought 4 New Yorks. But I just ate that one, and I'm hungry again. I think I
Well,
need
when
to
you
get
eat
more.
raw, it doesn't feel like you ate anything. Not in a
Right?
bad way, though.
I don't know. I've never seen green tripe. Is tripe coming green?
Oh no, I don't think so. I feel like it shouldn't. Maybe it would though.
I mean, sometimes it's kind of a yellowy color.
Right.
Green tripe. I don't know. Maybe we can make it a St. Patty's tradition. Green tripe.
Green tripe.
I'm from LA, so I'm down for some menudo anytime. Just give me the menudo with no hominy in it. I like my menudo corn free. Oh, Joe likes corned beef. Well, maybe he's not pure Italian. Maybe there's a little Irish in that boy. All right. Well, we'll wrap this one up. We want to thank everybody for watching. I had a good time. It's good. It's nice to have an audience and get to interact with people. Keep leaving us your comments. Maybe send a link to the channel to somebody enjoy it. Of course, subscribing helps. Any interaction really helps us grow the channel. So we sincerely hope to grow the channel more. So we like talking to everybody. And Dex says we need some haggis.
Oh yeah, haggis.
Doesn't haggis have barley and stuff in it though? I love making haggis jokes, but I think haggis has grain in it. It's like I think I looked it up. I believe it or not, I used to get canned haggis. It was pretty damn good.
Mm.
But the hardcore haggis is like sheep stomach stuffed with sheep lung and barley. So, anyways, we'll talk about haggis next week.
There we go.
All right. But have a good evening, everybody out there. And thanks for watching. Until next week, eat some meat, feel better.
Feel better. And whatever you do, don't fall down the tripe hole.
What is it? The haggis hole or the tripe hole?
Sign haggis hole.
Haggis hole.